Now, our other top story tonight at 6, following the money and getting results. An advocate in the Palisades says our reporting prompted local and state leaders to move millions of dollars into the Palisades and Eaton Fire burn areas. An NBC4 investigation recently found only a fraction of state wildfire relief funds went to the survivors. That is changing. There you see our investigative reporter Leonard in the newsroom. Eric, apparently this helped to get $300 million for victims. That's quite an accomplishment.
It's difficult for us to really take credit for this, although it feels like our reporting led to a number of things that have happened in the last couple of weeks. Members of one of the Palisades community groups that have been meeting all this time with local, state, and federal officials say it was that report we did back in May that showed how this fund was and wasn't being used that gave them the leverage to push for more money for all kinds of recovery projects. The leader of one of these advocacy groups told us today she went to bat after she saw the report and requested millions more of those unspent funds.
We're speaking because I wanted to personally thank you and NBC4 and everybody who works with you, because if it wasn't for your reporting on this pot of money that was sitting at the state level, we never would have been able to advocate for ourselves specifically to get some of that money.
Nina Maddock and I met in the vacant lot where her Pacific Palisades home once stood. She and a team of volunteers have spent countless hours advocating for government money to pay for street, utility, and environmental reconstruction. She says after she saw our investigation, where we reported in May that more than a year after the fires, only about a quarter of the governor's $2.5 billion response and recovery fund had been released. She says she and others went into action.
And we said, where's the recovery? Because we had all the documentation, again, thanks to your reporting, that we were able to say, look, you've given money to this, this, that, and the other thing, and hey, wait a minute, there's stuff that we need.
Maddox says they met with representatives from the state, the county, and the governor's office and pushed them to provide more. Earlier this week, we revealed the state had released more than $300 million in additional funding, money going towards critical projects in Altadena and Pacific Palisades.
What would have happened to these various projects that you guys made this list of had there not been an influx of money?
Nothing. Nothing would have happened. If it hadn't been for your reporting, if we hadn't been alerted to this money being out there, nothing would have happened. It would have gone back to the general fund.
In fact, items on the project list she and her colleagues sent to Councilwoman Tracy Park ended up in the Councilwoman's latest request to the governor. And we learned Monday the state agreed to fund about $10 million of items on that list on top of the $300 million.
As a result of your, like I said, your reporting and our asking, we were able to go back and get the right people to ask for at least some of the money and dip into that fund that was there and available.
So the latest state funds that we reported on over the last week are going to recovery projects both in the Eaton and Palisades burn areas, though of that $300 million, the city is receiving quite a bit of that, almost half of that money for a variety of projects in the Palisades. I'm investigative reporter Leonard, NBC4 News.